All right, everyone. Let me just turn this off. I know no one is watching. It's totally okay with me. This is the first video that I'm doing, the first live video that I'm doing on this channel. I've done a lot of live videos on different channels. Let me just make sure. Ooh, I'm hearing myself. Let me just turn something off here. Here we go. All right. So my name is Uri Sogloek. I'm Israeli and I'm 50. I have two kids. I'm married for 25 years. And the intention of this channel is this channel, I called it Straight Talk with Uri Sogloek because this is the place where I can talk freely about my opinions and the things that are of interest to me. And with that out of the way, let's get started. There is some things that I wanted to talk about, and I never get the place or the platform to talk about because if I have a YouTube for work or that clients from different areas and walk of life see, then I can't really say what I think, my opinion. But I decided that it's about time that I'd start really talking about what matters to me because that's the way it is. It's important. You have to take a stand eventually. So let's get started. The first thing that I wanted to talk about is the most important thing that, in my opinion, is happening in the Middle East and specifically in Israel, and that is the fact that we have a problem. We have a problem in Israel. We have a problem with the Israeli geography. We have a problem with our neighbors. And the first thing is a problem with the Bedouins. If you guys don't know, the Bedouins are nomad communities that are usually in the southern part of Israel. Let me bring up some kind of geography lesson, a map. Let me just share this. That's not the way you do it. Okay, screen, window. Let me share this window. Is it shared? Yeah. Okay, so let's look at the map of Israel and just a little bit of our neighbors, and let's discuss this problem because it's a pretty big problem that we have. And so let me just zoom out a little bit. Okay, so this area is Israel over here. This is white. In fact, if I go like this, all the green area is Israel. I'm going to turn off this arrow for a second. So the green area is Israel. And if we zoom out for a second, if we zoom out a little bit more, you can see that this is Egypt. Look at the size of Egypt. And over here to the side, we have Jordan. And this is Israel without what people call the West Bank. This part is the West Bank. Tel Aviv is here in the center, right about here. You can see it in this map over here. And here's the Dead Sea. All right, down here is Eilat and what we call the port of Aqaba. Aqaba is the Jordanian city here, and this all the way down the Red Sea. And then at the end we have the Hormuz Straits. Okay, so that's a little bit of a big geography, but let's go and talk about this very big and troubling problem for Israel with regards to what's going on in this section over here. I'm going to turn on this, not this one, this one. So this section over here, this section is a big area, a big chunk of land, 60% of Israel. It's called the Negev Desert. And this area is problematic. And I'm going to show you an interview now. No one is talking about this in English, and most Jewish communities in the diaspora don't even know about what's going on over there because Israelis have the habit that they want to keep all the dirty laundry inside. They don't want to talk about this. The reason I'm bringing this up, the reason I'm talking about this is because Around 6 months before the 7th of October, I was asked by the different people in the military command to be in a team that rewrote or was designed to rewrite the Israeli army ethical code. And during that time, when I served with that specific unit inside the intelligence branch of the army, I had realized that the army is not working. And after a 3 days tour that I was taken to all the most sophisticated and advanced military bases in Israel, I remember it was Thursday afternoon. I came back home after 3 days of driving all over the country, and Israel is equivalent to the size of New Jersey. So it's kind of not a lot of driving, not as the US people, the Americans know, what it means to drive 10, 15 hours, but we don't know that. So, but I was driving at least 3 hours every day. And after I've seen all the bases, it was a Thursday afternoon. So in Israel, the week starts on Sunday. It doesn't start on Monday. And I came back home. So the week ends on usually Thursday evening. I came back home Thursday evening, and I told my wife, listen, pack your stuff, because what I saw led me to believe that we are in front of the biggest disaster Israel has ever known since the Holocaust, before Israel even existed. And unfortunately, what turned out was not what I imagined. It was worse than what I imagined. That was the 7th of October. And when I wanted to tell the people inside the intelligence branch of what I saw, and that there are things that need to be fixed, and that there are problems, I got basically laughed out and kicked out. And I'm seeing the same phenomena again. And I think it's time to communicate this to the world so people know what's going on. Because if everyone knows that this is a problem, then the government will have to put attention on it. That's at least my opinion. I don't know of any other way to solve this problem. And that's why I decided to go and start talking about this, on YouTube. And YouTube is going to be the main channel. Okay, so let me explain what's going on. This part is the Negev. The Negev is by the way, the Negev is the most strategic area we have. We have a lot of different training facilities for the army, different ranges and stuff. So it's it's a very strategic area. And the problem is that in the Negev, we have a lot of Bedouins. Now, Bedouins themselves, the nomad people, are not necessarily a problem. But what has happened in the last 15 years is that the different very extreme factions inside the Muslim world took control over that area, the Bedouins. And this had caused a situation where, especially now, because Bedouins have multiple wives, it's polygamy. So everyone has about 4 to 5 wives. If each wife has about 4 to 5 kids. And what happens is that most of these wives, now this is a big thing, a lot of wives, that they come from Hebron, and they also come from Gaza. So these are women who are being smuggled from Gaza. This is the Gaza Strip over here. They are smuggled into Israel, and they also bring their ideologies with them. Now, if you don't know, Gaza is controlled by Hamas. And Hamas is, it's not a secret, Hamas and UNRWA had Hitler's Mein Kampf books in their school. Hamas is totally a Nazi death cult, as Douglas Murray said amazingly. And they are what they are. You can't take it away from them. They actually said it. They said they're going to do the 7th of October again and again and again and again. And so it's not a secret that they're basically Nazis, the same as Nazis, maybe even worse. At least the Nazis had uniforms, and they said what they believed in. Hamas just continuously lies through their teeth. But the problem is that this area over here, and the Bedouin community over here in this part of the country, has been growing a lot. I think in the last 17 years, it has doubled its size. It's now about 350,000 people. And on top of that, their main income is drug smuggling, human trafficking, and illegal arms trade. Now, not just guns and just maybe if you'd say, okay, they're just trading guns, maybe, but they're buying submachine guns, machine guns. Now you ask, where are these weapons coming from? And this is this arrow. The weapons come from Jordan, mostly Jordan. Some of it comes from Egypt. And the weapon is being smuggled sometimes through drones that pack, huge drones that just ship everything across the border. By the way, if I remember correctly, most of Israel's drug problems come from the Bedouin. And it's really a big issue because remember, some families have between 20 to 25 kids. There are no schools. The Israeli governments, not just specifically this government, but the Israeli governments forever have not handled the problem because they were afraid to talk directly and be totally straight with the Bedouins about the problem that their habits bring and create. And Prime Minister Sharon, Ariel Sharon, the General Sharon at the time, I think it was the 80s, said that the Bedouin community in the Negev is a powder keg about to explode. And I wanted to show you how much has this illegal arms trade and drug problem became so severe to the point where it is my belief that now Israel does, although the Israeli borders run through here, through this area, I believe that Israel does not control all this area, all the sections. In fact, you can't even drive safely through the roads over here. It is becoming more and more dangerous. Let me show you an example. So let me open up this video over here. Not this one. This one. I'm gonna share the screen again. All right. Let me see if I can do that. All right. Here we go. So this is a TV article from last week. And they're talking about, no, let's do a share differently. Let's share it. Let's share not the screen, but this one. All right. So let me share this. This is a TV article. If I remember correctly, well, this is actually 3 years ago. The problem has just intensified. This is an article about the problem of too many guns in the Negev. Listen to the sound. Look at this.
זאת לא הפעם הראשונה שאנשי הבואסה רוצים להראות...
These are just Bedouins walking through the streets of the Negev, just shooting their machine guns.
למי יש יותר גדול? כבר בנובמבר שידרנו כאן את התמונות האלה. על פי גורמים במגזר הבדואי, המשפחות מפגינות את עוצמתן.
These are just families, what we call Hamula. Hamula is the most important thing. If you understand anything about Arabs, you understand that the Hamula is the main it's a big family. It's the usually the uncles and all the uncles and the grandparents and the grandkids. Every Hamula is about 50 to 60, sometimes hundreds of people. But look at these. These are actually family members, and they have their own agenda. But look at the amounts of guns. This guy is. These are M16s. I've seen some RPGs. They are armed to the teeth, right?
כאן באמצעות הסרטונים האלה, זה למעשה סרטון איום שצולם אז כדי להרתיח חמולות אחרות. אלה כלי הנשק שלנו ואלה הגברים שמוכנים לקרב. אל תתעסקו איתנו. זה המסר שביקשה אז משפחת הבואסה להעביר.
אי אפשר להשאיר את זה לילדים שלנו. הם לא יוכלו להסתדר ככה. אם המדינה לא שולטת...
Let's move forward. Look at this. These are guns. And just remember that in Israel, a civilian cannot buy these guns. These guns are not for civilians. You can't buy them. You can barely get a handgun if you're Israeli and you're not like an army officer or a police officer or fire services. You can't even buy the guns. So it's really hard to get a license for a handgun in Israel. And if you do get a license for a handgun, you can only have like 10 to 15 bullets, if I remember correctly, not more than 100 bullets, maybe 15 bullets, 50 bullets a year, right? Look at these guys, they're walking around
אינפורמציות למשטרה, כי להם פשוט נמאס, הם סובלים לא פחות אם לא יותר מאיתנו.
בחזרה ליום שישי האחרון, שוטרי תחנת תל שבע ממרחב נגב שהיו בפעילות שגרתית ביישוב, הנה כאן בתיעוד, והבחינו בשיירת החתונה של אבו עסה וגם בירי.
And they're just walking around with these guns, nothing, they don't care, they're driving next to the police.
כמה שעות הצליחו השוטרים לשים את הזה, שאחד מהם אפילו יהיה...
Now let's see another video. Ooh, no, this one is for next off. I don't know where I have it. I should have it here. There's an interview that happened a week ago with the head of, or the mayor of a city called Beersheva. Beersheva is the city, is the main city in the Negev, is the main, kind of the main Jewish city in the Negev. And remember, whether you like it or not, Israel is a Jewish country. It's not an Arab country, it's a Jewish country. That's what differentiates Israel from the different Arab countries, because we are Jewish. So Beersheva is, let me share this. Beersheva is somewhere, Beersheva is, there we go. Beersheva is somewhere over here, around where this arrow is at. And I have made a video because, oh, it should be around here. This is all new because I haven't done it in a while. So you guys, when you will see that, you will have to get, you have to wait a second. Okay. So now this video is of the mayor of Beersheva. This is the biggest city in the Negev. And he is already talking about the fact that this thing is the biggest danger to the Jewish state as we know it right now. Okay, it says, how do you stop the criminality in the south? And it says over here, the biggest danger of Israel are the Bedouins. So people are starting to talk about this, and I've said that already 3 years ago. I've said the biggest problem is going to be the Bedouins in the Negev. They're totally out of control. They don't respect the law. They are the main drug dealers into Israel. They, by the way, 50 cars, if I remember correctly, the number, it's 19,000 cars a year being stolen in Israel. Around 90% of the stolen cars in Israel are related to the Bedouin community in the Negev. I used to ride dirt bikes, and I can tell you for a fact that I know where they hide their cars. They have huge parking lots in the middle of the desert. And the problem is that the main problem is that Israel did not decide that it wants to solve the problem. The problem of the Bedouins is going to be the next big war, just like the 7th of October. The next big war is going to be with the Arabs in Israel, because the Arabs in Israel, and I'm sorry to say that because I have amazing friends who are Arabs, but the majority of the Arabs in Israel did not decide where they are. They did not decide if they want to be Arab Israelis or they want to be against Israel. And they are continuously arming themselves. And because of very bad management in Israel, not just specifically with this government, but even governments before, just bad management, they did not handle the problem. The Bedouins are nomads. They are taking over. They're taking control over the Negev. And I believe that in about, here I'm saying it here. I know no one is watching it right now, but if people watch it in the future, I'm saying here, I believe that in 3 years, so we are starting 2026 in probably like 15, 16 days. I believe that in 3 years, so 2029, we will start seeing the Israeli army mobilize units to start handling the Bedouin community, and this will develop into a full-fledged war. And the problem is that the war is not going to be in the case of Gaza, the war was with people who had to go through the fence, even though the fence was, we were promised that the fence is going to be the most amazing thing, and you won't even have to or be able to cross it, and it turned out to be a whole lie. But these people, they live in Israel. They are your gardeners, they are the Uber Eats driver, they are in Tel Aviv, they are in Netanya, they are in Haifa, they are there, they are with us, and I believe that they didn't decide who do they owe loyalty to. And I think that, in my opinion, when the day comes, it's going to be the Bedouin communities and the Arabs in Israel that will attack Tel Aviv. And remember, some of the villages around Tel Aviv are only 15 minutes driving away. There's no roadblocks. There's really nothing to stop them from doing that. And I believe this war is going to be the biggest war. The 7th of October is going to be nothing even close to that war, because, and here's the kicker, the Bedouin community has 100,000 weapons. Listen to the number, 100,000 weapons. The Bedouin community has 100,000 weapons. This is equivalent to Israel has 5 infantry brigades, okay? 100,000 weapons is equivalent to 50 infantry brigades. So Israel doesn't even have the manpower. If they decide to mobilize, if they decide to attack Tel Aviv, all the security system together, all the army, all the big army, we don't have the manpower to stop this. And this will have to be, eventually they will have to mobilize tanks, and this will be a slaughter. This is going to be the biggest war. The 7th of October was nothing compared to what I call the first Negev war, the first desert war. And this is coming. This is in the future. Never forget that. Never forget that. Unfortunately, it is going to happen. It's really unfortunate, because I was active within the Bedouin community in the past. I would give them lectures about the importance of education, and we did fundraising events to help them get out of the poverty that they're in, because we thought that they are in this poverty because the government is not taking enough responsibility for them, which is on one hand right, but what we realized is that just like in every other, unfortunately, just like in every other Muslim country, their imams, their religious clerks are just corrupted, and they are taking the money from them for themselves. So remember that I said it here. The next war is going to be the first desert Negev war. It's going to be the first, because there are going to be more wars after that. And I believe that if we will have to preempt the war. We will have to start it and attack first, because even right now we don't have control over the Negev. Unfortunately, that's the way it is. And I can show you more and more videos about what they do and how they behave. And even this video, we even have General, his name is, let me find the name, General, I think Ron Tal, but it's this guy. Let me show you this. This guy, he's actually, here we go. He's actually saying,
הנגב נלקח מאיתנו,
he says the Negev was taken away from us.
מאיתנו, הבדואים משתלטים.
This was the head of the Tzva Yabasha. Tzva Yabasha means the head of the land army, land whatever.
על הנגב.
איפה החוט של
יש,
הממשלה?
מקימים להם
מה
ערים.
עושים?
מצוין, שנייה.
מה עושים?
אבל הם באים לערים ונשארים עם השטחים שלהם. ואני רואה את זה
He
כשהייתי
already
יושב
says
ראש...
this. We already told. I was talking about this 3 years ago. He already said it. That was yesterday. He said the Negev was taken away from us. Remember, and what this causes is it causes the fact that, and let me, oh my God, I need to share so many windows. And this causes, so this is, again, we're going back to this map. This is the Negev. And all this war, all this weaponry is coming in from Jordan and from Egypt on this side. And unfortunately, we will have to go to war. We will have to go to war with the communities. There's some Jewish cities over here, but if you look online, and I don't know why this is annoying to me, because I don't understand why we have a civil broadcasting system in Israel. It's called Channel 11, Kan 11, Channel 11. They broadcast only in Hebrew, and they don't talk about anything in English. And when they do talk about something in English, it's always because, you know, it's not like not saying Arabs, they're not saying Bedouins, they're not saying Arab crime, criminality. Almost everything that has to do with crime in Israel is somehow related to the Arabs, and people are not, they don't have guts to say it. Unfortunately, they don't have guts to say it, and that is annoying, because I'm not saying that there's no Jewish crime. Yes, there's Jewish crime, but there's way more Arab-related crime. Not there's different areas, like don't connect the Jews to the Arab because they're totally different. They go to the army. They're amazing people, amazing people. But this is all Muslim-related crime, and we have to call the baby white's name. This is Muslim-related crime. This is the same ideologies for the Muslim Brotherhood. These are this exact same ideologies, and I believe that there's the exact same people behind all this who are also pushing the Muslim Brotherhood ideologies here in the U.S. Unfortunately, and this is a whole other thing. Unfortunately, someone sent me this picture. What's his name? The director of the FBI. Here we go. Director of the FBI, Kash Patel, is now somehow working with the Qatari. I can now show this. Director of the FBI, and I don't know if he's maybe a useful idiot or whatever, but it's pretty annoying. Can we see that? Yeah, we can. The director of the FBI just came back from Qatar, which is a Muslim Brotherhood country sponsoring terror, sponsoring Hamas, and sponsoring all the crazy, basically ideologies in the U.S. This is Qatar. Qatar is the U.S. enemy, and the director of the FBI is working or goes to Qatar and signs 2 MOU with the Qatari Minister of the Interior. All right? Why? How come is that these guys are legit terrorists? How come the FBI director is going over there and signing a contract with them? Can anyone please explain? I'm not saying he's the only guy, but I mean, we also have Tulsi Gabbard, who used to work for the Qataris, and you also have Witkoff, the special envoy to the Middle East, who got bailed out by the Qataris for, if I remember correctly, for $628 million. And the whole U.S. government is filled with Qatari agents. Ugh, that sounds bad, right? But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's hope I'm wrong. But I don't think I am, unfortunately. All right. Next off for today is something else that I wanted to talk to you about. It's not this. It's not that. Where is it? Okay, I've seen the. Did anyone see the interview with Nick Fuentes, Piers Morgan and Nick Fuentes? He was like watching a car wreck, you know, like watching an accident on the road and people dying. I mean, I don't know. Is he smart? Is he dumb? What's the story with this guy? But mainly, I saw him talking about the Holocaust and the fact that Hitler, did he say Hitler was fucking cool? Yeah, he actually said that. Hitler was fucking cool. So let me try and open up this interview. Hitler was fucking cool.
And with that,
You're fine with saying you're a racist?
totally. I think everybody's racist.
I mean, it couldn't be clearer, really.
I mean, I can understand
Unless you want to